It's a super interesting question. And I don't know that that is it so much, but I think it's the story of feeling like you don't belong that I attract a
Yeah.
lot of people that resonate with that story of like, oh,
Hmm.
yeah, I get that because of XYZ. Like, I didn't graduate from college, or I didn't follow a
Hmm.
typical sales background. I was an engineer and then I moved into sales, or I was in recruiting and I moved into sales. Like,
Hmm.
I don't belong here. So I think it's people that resonate with that story of feeling like you don't belong that are attracted.
Oh, and I'll never forget when you said this, but you mentioned that a lot of your female clients always ask you like, "Oh, do guys get this like self-doubt?" This
Yes.
yeah, and I was like, "Oh yeah, like that's such an interesting topic."
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. Anytime, there's so many times that I'm talking, because I work one on one with my clients. I'm always trying to get them in groups together so they can hear each other, but nobody wants to share about imposter syndrome. But so
uh,
I hear about it all the time. Like, I know how
huh,
normal this is, but the other person's like, "Ooh, I got the secret to share with you." Like, sometimes I feel like an imposter, and I'm like, "It's totally fine. Like, that's
hmm,
expected." But it's so
yeah,
interesting to me when I hear the women and they're like, "I'm sure that your male clients never talk about this or never deal with
hmm,
this." And I'm like, if only you knew.
hmm,
It is so normal. And that is another interesting point. So the term imposter syndrome came out of some research done in, I think it was the 70s. And the researchers named it imposter syndrome because they actually saw this phenomenon as being really prevalent in professional women. But they now know like it spans genders and demographics and whatever.
huh,
But interestingly enough, the people who named it imposter syndrome later said they wish they would have named it the imposter effect because it
oh,
is not a diagnosable mental illness.
hmm,
It's not actually a problem that you have, it's a passing effect that you gain. And the reason it's a passing effect is because, is it okay if I get into like more of like why you have imposter syndrome?
yeah, this is great. Thank you.
So the reason that they say it's an effect is because imposter syndrome only shows up if you've achieved your next big success. And I
Yeah.
always tell people this, and they're always like, no, 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 you don't understand. I'm not a success.